Okay. Everything's loading okay. We might be live already. Um, I've had some issues before with knowing exactly what's going on here. So I'm looking over here at OBS. Last time I did this, I dropped a ton of frames and it didn't work out well. I don't know how long my stream this is going to be. I've been a little hoarse, I guess, or quickly hoarse lately, and I'm not sure why. But I'm doing updates. I've got some things going on the other side here. Hopefully this is picking up okay. Which mic is this using? Default device, so it should be using my Blue Yeti. See if I talk closer to the... Oh yeah, that seems to be the one. As opposed to my mic, or my camera one. Okay, good. So, how you doing? I don't have a lot to say. I have lost 3 subscribers, which works out to be 5%, just over 5% of my total subscribers. Oh no. I guess that happens when you don't make content. I wanted to quickly recap last week's stream and what everybody missed because you couldn't. It was unwatchable, and I figured I'd leave it up. But eventually, maybe I'd get around to redoing that, and I didn't. The easy part of that would be, what was that one about? Steve McRae, transgender athletes, and well, let's just go to my videos and find out what it was. I don't remember anymore. Riveting content, I know. You can tell. And the Pumpkin Posse. The TLDR of all that was, let's see, NIFB and Pumpkin Posse. I support the Pumpkin Posse and their goals. I wasn't very fond of their tactics. With getting payment services to kick them off. Well, I don't support those ideas, and I think we should challenge those ideas. I don't think literally interfere. Like, I don't see how this is necessarily any different than trying to get someone fired from their job for having an opinion you don't like. I understand the position they were taking. I just don't agree with it. I'm even sympathetic to it. But again, I don't agree with the tactics. That has, for all intents and purposes, kind of faded away. There's still some people out there with pumpkin stuff on their Twitter bios and feeds and names and stuff. And that's cool. But yeah, that's kind of done. So Steve McRae and the Non Sequitur Show, TLDR version. I think Steve got screwed. I understand where Kyle was coming from. I, again, don't agree with the tactics. I don't agree with the positioning of Kyle basically just taking away everything because he had the keys to the kingdom. Kind of the equivalent to if you lived in an apartment, one of your roommates getting the locks changed, you know. because they've been paying all the rent. Well, that's a contractual thing between the two people that live there. One person can't just decide that they're going to take over. I don't think Kyle's a bad person. I just think that, unlike what there seems to be, you're either one or the other. I don't think what Kyle did was right. I don't think Kyle should have essentially kicked Steve off the Non Sequitur show. I don't think he has the legal right to do that. And I think that Steve is rightfully upset. I disagree with Steve and people who say that, like, everybody who supports Kyle is some kind of traitor and blah, blah, blah. Things are more complicated. And again, like I said, I can understand Kyle's position. I just don't agree with the way he handled it. As for Steve, I think that Steve is in the right, but god damn it, Steve, I don't want to hear about it. Every time you open you're a drama whore that you need to be stirring up controversy. You need to be either getting tons of support or tons of ridicule, and I don't care. I mean, I want to like you, Steve, and because I think that you're a reasonably intelligent person. I think that you probably make some good points, and you have shown through my interactions with you on Facebook that you are willing to accept positions to be more clear. I know I had said to you a couple of times when talking about this whole atheism, agnosticism thing, if you frame it in terms of, in philosophy, this is what the term means, and you make it about the philosophical points, you'll have a lot less argument from people. And you've begun using words like in philosophy. I've even seen a couple of posts where you talked about it and you're like, in philosophy, this is this. Yes, in philosophy, that may be the case. That's not how it's used. Atheism is more than just a philosophical position. It's a psychological position. It's an epistemological position, and epistemology isn't all necessarily tied up in philosophy, even though it's a philosophical concept. Having said all that, I don't care about the Non Sequitur show stuff, especially when it's just you bitching about people supporting or not supporting you, or supporting or not supporting Kyle, and blah, 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 blah. That's fine. But frankly, I don't care, and you either have your rabid supporters who are all behind you, or people who don't know about this drama, don't care about it. And like me, as somebody, I didn't really watch the Non Sequitur show. I was aware of it. I've watched a little bit of a couple of episodes. I don't have time to sit down and watch something for 2 or 3 hours. I have plenty of other content, shorter content that I'd rather spend time on. Lint from my pocket. I just threw it on the floor for some strange reason, but it's a black carpet. I'll pick it up later. Anyway, not sure what I was thinking there. But I don't care. I mean, and I'm tired of the drama, and I just scroll past a lot of it. And you're getting upset at people who just because they aren't supporting. And it is dramatic, but there's not been any changes. You posting, oh, it's been 20 days without hearing from Kyle and his lawyer. Now it's been 30 days. Now it's been 35 days. And well, now I'm going to send them that. Nobody cares. If people care, they can ask you and you can post about it. But, like, I don't know. The social media that I see you on is not the Steve McRae I'm interested in, I guess. I've considered a couple of times unfollowing you for stuff, just because I think that it's dumb and boring. I mean, it's the same reason I wasn't into internet blood sports. I don't want the drama. I don't like the drama. I don't care about the drama. I'm not coming here for drama. If I want drama, I'll go hang out with my insert crazy family member here. I mean, I neither want nor need it. And I find it frustrating because I think that you're an intellectual person. I think you can make intellectual arguments. I just don't think you are. You're whining and complaining, And I get that you're upset. I understand that. And I understand having the need to vent. But as someone who's not attached to this at all, I don't care. So, so the TLDR of that TLDR was, I think Steve is right to be upset, but I don't want to hear about it. So, trans athletes compete based on sex, not based on gender. Although if you're competing based on gender, compete based on gender category, which is tied to sex. Although no, it still goes back to sex. The protected class is the sex of female. I was originally resistant to Noel Plum's idea of competitive classes with the female sports and the open category. But I think that makes a lot more sense. It took me several days of thinking about the positive and negatives, and my first reaction was, well, that's not fair because of men's sports. But then it's about competition. Men aren't a protected class when it comes to sports performance. There doesn't need to be a men's necessarily, because men can compete in the open one. What we're trying to do is make for females to have a particular advantage against all comers, which is why we segregated off a female sports division. It should always have been that way. I would consider that it, for the most part, always has been that way, although sometimes not knowingly. So I agree with it. Compete based on your sex. You will then limit your cases of times when this matters greatly, because there are probably way more trans individuals in this world than there are intersex persons in this world. And most of the intersex conditions that we know of still fall into one or other gametic sex category. And it doesn't have to be necessarily gametic sex. It could be, but that tends to be the one that works the easiest, covers the most number of people. And maybe do a case by case from there based on something like testosterone levels or something. But that should be a secondary or tertiary characteristic that you're looking at, not a primary one. Oops, bumping my mic. Don't bump the mic. Don't bump the mic. Okay, so that's a recap on that stuff. I gotta hop back over here to this thing, go to here, because like I said, I am doing updates. Boop. Gotta sign into here. That's still thinking. It's probably fine. It's an old server anyway. Yes, I know it's not working because I'm not in the office. Little bird's eye view of this. I connect to my desktop at work in order to do my work on updates. I use a third-party connection software, and when I am at work, I have a Bluetooth receiver in my desktop. And if I walk away from it, it connects to my work cell phone. And when it gets out of Bluetooth range, it locks my computer using a feature called Dynamic Lock. Works pretty good. I'm not at the office, and so when I remote in remotely, I get a message saying Dynamic Lock is not working. And Dynamic Lock is not working because I'm not in the office. So it can't find the phone to connect to anyway, and hence I get errors. Everything seems to be going okay as far as my updates go. create a support file. I'm not going to send it, but create a support file anyway. Oh, because I have like 4 of them open. Once I'm done installing all the updates, then I have to go through and make sure all the proper services and everything are restarted appropriately that get bumped and tossed and turned and yes. One of these perhaps worked. Nope. May not have worked because I opened 4 of them. I have a service I need to start manually for managing the access points. And the server that the software runs on it's a VM that's connected to a SAN that uses a bunch of spinning disks and does not use I want to say it uses a hardware RAID, but the processor and the front end bus are pretty inadequate. Let's set it right up. Cool. And make sure my other service is running. The problem is when I log off of the server, when I disconnect, I have to disconnect the remote session. So if I log off, it closes the session. This is running though. Why is this not running? My help desk software is not connecting though. So we'll kick that off. This is done. Our reporting server. Sign out of this guy. I know this is really exciting watching me do this, isn't it? Ooh. My service window, my maintenance window is open for another 17 minutes. I have a couple of times had to kick people off because they were connecting during my maintenance window. And that's their bad, not mine. But I'm almost done. I'm really just double checking some of this stuff in the background, making sure that I've got all of the updates installed as appropriate or needed. A couple of low value servers that we use just for archive data. I do them because I'm on here, not because I necessarily need to, but it's been a funky week because there was an update that came out last month. No, it came out earlier this month. That had it changed the way that Windows handled certain things like applications written in VB6. We use our CRM software version that we use is written in VB6, and it basically broke all that stuff. We had to about a week later, they had a patch out for almost all versions of Windows to fix their fix. They did not pull the old update because what they did was they made a fix to a security issue, which then broke things that then went back and re-enabled or tweaked some setting essentially to allow it to function as it did without opening up the security hole again. So the patch won't install, the updated thing won't install until after you have to break it and then fix it, which requires both break and fix require a restart. So I had an extra round of server reboots this week. It happens, but I typically start downloading and installing updates the night before so that come Sunday when I start this at 9 a.m., I can start off with restarting the first hypervisor server, all the servers in the first hypervisor server, and then like kind of start the day off with clean restarts and things like that, and then make sure all the other patches are installed. And today, instead of finishing that all up by 10:30, which is typically the first hour and a half, is just the first hypervisor server. Then the second server takes me longer. I wasn't done with that till 11 or 12-ish. And I have to be careful how I do this because we have a couple of different DCs. We have one on the first hypervisor server, one on the second hypervisor server. And if I reboot both Hyper-V servers at the same time, we don't have any DNS. So servers can't authenticate and don't boot up properly. And I've done that before and then had to wait and then, use my remote connection software to connect to those directly and then restart them again, which is just easier than trying to do the other stuff to get the domain controllers back up and online properly. So suddenly feel like I just got a bunch of dust in my eye. Not any fans going down here or anything. So oh well. So that's that. Let me check my frames here. See if I've dropped a ton of stuff. Well, this is. Hold on. This one's up to date. I can log off. Bye, Brand. I know you don't care about any of that stuff, but I figured that's what I'm doing. No, I don't want to edit a picture. I wanted to log off. Should have been a sign out. I changed account settings instead of hit sign out. Okay, that's starting up. This one and this one. My last three are running scans. Those aren't going to finish up for a while, but the updates are done. I'm just going to disconnect those sessions because they're going to keep running. This one I'll keep checking on. It's our print server. Dude. All right. Sucking up all the resources on that one. We'll leave that one going. We'll leave that one going. So I'll check on those later. So I'm essentially done. Hooray! There we go. Sorry about the color. I tried to tweak the settings to make myself look somewhat presentable. Didn't work too well. Not going to do me a whole lot of good to make any changes right now. I'm not gonna. I have... So my light up here is... did I just kill my thing? Can you see me now? It's background. Boop. I think I'm frozen. Can I... Nothing in the chat. Do I have the right chat up here anyway? My image looks like it's frozen. If I boop this back up. Oh, that worked. Okay. So apparently I can't close my settings once I have them open if I go live. It apparently freezes up my camera. So, where was I? What was I talking about? Covered the stuff from last week that you couldn't fill out. I don't look like I can't tell how my stream quality is on this. OBS. Streamlabs OBS has updated their interface a little bit here, and I'm not sure what I'm looking at anymore. Here we go. I got performance metrics. Cool. and won't leave them up there. Doing good on drop frames. It's showing 0.0% drop frames. Cool. I was going to check live streaming. I was going to check my chat. I don't know if this chat's the right chat or not. Boop. I don't expect to have anybody in chat for this one. Mostly because wait, what? I want to that. No. That took me back to the same page again. Not with this. That's a different. Timestamps, they on or off? I can't tell. Just me. Ba, 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 ba. Sign into chat. All message will be seen publicly. Why can't I? Done with that, done with that. Done with that. Travel trivia. You don't need to see this. Unsubscribe. Confirm unsubscribe. Stop sending me junk. So, got nothing in the chat. Nobody talking. Nobody watching. Nobody watching live. And I don't think anybody's watching live. Anybody watching live? Now this says, please use a keyframe for... My stream health, according to YouTube, is awful. Streamlabs OBS looks fine. But according to YouTube here, please use keyframe frequency of 4 seconds or less. Currently, keyframes are not being sent often enough. Should cause buffering. Current keyframe frequency is 8.3 seconds. Note that ingestion something. Okay. Boop. And then... Can I edit that without dropping off? Sources. That's chat settings. Well, that's really little over there. Why is that so small? Boop, 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 boop. That's a little better. Though, oddly enough, if I'm looking this way, I'm looking this way, it's over there. So really, these should be switched. This should be over here. So when I look this way at the screen, it kind of looks like I'm looking at that over there. That over there. There. Does that make sense? I think so. Screen capture only, that's just that one. Okay, so. Stream setup 2. Connections. I don't see... That's that. I know this is super exciting, right? Output scaled. Ooh, I could change that maybe? I don't see anywhere I can change keyframes. My chat popped out. Where did I put my pop-out chat? There. Boop. I don't have any topic today. So, how about we call it quits? Unless I can. Nope. What's Twitter going on? Notifications. Let's take a look at this thing here. Boop. Back over here. This guy doesn't understand his own argument. So this article here, in the Washington Post, basically, here's what to do when you're called a racist: is basically apologize for being a racist. This person here underneath this, silver and gold, sea silver and gold. When the consequences do not include deprivation of life, liberty, or property, neither apology nor introspection do any harm to even an innocent of all racism person. My point was that if I haven't done anything, then what am I apologizing for? Their argument then, I said, so if I'm being called a racist and I should be introspective and apologize for that, then how would that be different than if someone calling me a racist would be different than me calling him a criminal because black people are criminals? I mean, he doesn't seem to understand that. My point is that if you aren't guilty of this assumption, what should you be? I can't spell apologizing for. Oh, he does. Good. Utility. To someone who isn't that thing. That's how I want to phrase that. Is that I hate this thing about Twitter. I want to see the thread that I'm responding to, not just the tweet. I can't really do that anymore. When I click on a tweet to reply, it just gives me this last thing. And introspect. So that's it for today, I guess. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Who knows if I'll ever get time to produce content again. Whatever. I say that all the time. I say, you know what? I'm really going to get back to this. I'm going to do this thing and blah, blah, blah. And I, no. Just don't really have it in me. And it's not that I don't have it in me because I don't want to do it. I don't have it in me because I don't have the time. And when I have time to do other things, I've got a hierarchy of things to do. And YouTube is not in the top 3. Probably in the top 5. Right behind playing some more games. Let's see, I got like working out, which I take time to do 4 or 5 nights a week. Catching up on social media, which is really a problem for me. I may be taking a break from some of that for a while. I've been too frustrated lately with Twitter. And I don't want to start unfollowing people that I don't like just because I'm tired of listening to their crap right now. It's a situation where if I was somewhere public with them or in a group of people and they were talking about this, I would go talk to somebody else or walk away. You can't just do that. I could mute them and then unmute them later, but I don't want to end up in this little echo chamber of not unmuting them. And I think it's better to maintain the spheres that I'm in, at least as far as this type of stuff goes. And some of them, some of their content is far more one way than their other content. And I can continue to follow them on some of their other content or some of their other content on other platforms without having to listen to them on Twitter. And maybe I will. But I think, I don't know. If I'm not on Facebook or Twitter a lot lately, and if you're not following me on Facebook or don't know who I am on Facebook, it's C. Dave Root. I run the SkepticalRoot page. Not that anybody's watching this anyway, so. But be that as it may, I should just stop this. It's 40 minutes. I got to go cook. I got to go wrap up my updates. I got to do my meal prep for the week. And I don't think I'm going to get the grass cut today. It is 6 o'clock. I need an hour and a half at least to cook, and I have dinner. Next week it'll take me longer to cook, but I won't be doing updates next week, so I guess that's it. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this did not end up being as awful as last week's, and hopefully my audio is good, because it looked like I'm peeking into the yellow range, the warning range. I'm not going all the way red, but I feel like it might be audio may be a little low. Hopefully it's not too bad. But I guess that's it. Goodbye and hello, as always.